State lawmakers want to ensure that no more mentally challenged New Yorkers are injured or killed in their homes. Laura Cummings was killed last January after being tortured for years. A new law would make it easier for social workers to intervene. News 4's Al Vaughters has this story. Al?
Jackie, intense criticism of social service agencies following Laura Cummings' brutal torture and murder at the hands of her mother led to an investigation by state lawmakers. They even conducted a hearing here in Buffalo last October, which has laid the framework for legislation being crafted now in Albany. Laura Cummings, a North Collins woman with mental and physical challenges, died a brutal death in her home last January. Despite pleas from her brother Richard Cummings, stationed at an Air Force base in North Carolina, and a town judge, to the Erie County Department of Social Services that Laura's life was in imminent danger.
It was really frustrating, 600-700 miles away, and I couldn't do a darn thing about coming home and trying to, get my sister out of there.
State lawmakers held a hearing in Buffalo last October to get to the bottom of this tragedy and to come up with ways of correcting the mistakes that were made. While Adult Protection Services caseworkers did respond to complaints of Laura being abused, they were denied entry into the family's home. A pending bill co-sponsored by State Senator George Maziarz would fix that.
In other words, if they were denied access 2 times, they could actually go and get a court order after a second complaint. In Laura Cummings' case, there were numerous complaints about potential abuse going on.
Maziarz is sponsoring the legislation in the state Senate. An identical bill is being drafted by Queens Assemblyman William Scarborough, who conducted the hearings in Buffalo last October. Even though the Department of Social Services had extensive files on the Cummings household when Laura and her siblings were kids, officials have said the law prevents Child Protective Services from sharing its files with Adult Protective Services. Maziarz says the new measure would take down that wall between the two agencies.
Complaints were made both to the Adult Protection Services Agency in Erie County and the Child Protective Services in Erie County. And those two agencies, because of all the privacy laws, are not allowed to share information. This would loosen up some of those restrictions.
Now, Maziarz's measure would also make it easier for law enforcement to search a home while investigating complaints of adult abuse. They already have that authority in cases involving child abuse. Richard Cummings told us it's an honor that his sister has inspired this legislation, but he's still grieving over the tragedy that led to it. Al Vaughters, News 4 at 5:30.